Okay, so let's look at another diagram example. All right, for this diagram example, we're looking at this passage is from test number 1 from the Cambridge book number 8. And if you have the book, you are definitely welcome to work along with me. I suggest you get the books. I think they're great and you should use them. If you want to, you can actually stop the lecture right now and go to Cambridge book 8, reading passage 1, and you can try to do the question and before I go through it, and then be able to check your answers that way. So I think that's a great way to use this book. And to be able to work with us. All right, so let's look at a diagram question. We've seen this reading passage. We've seen this reading passage before because I used it to do a matching question, which we just learned earlier. We did this matching question right here earlier, and I explained also with this passage about how to do the paragraph location question. In terms of that, we don't do it first. We do the matching and the diagram first, then go back to the paragraph location question. I explained that to you. Right, but here is our diagram right here. All right. So again, a diagram is pretty much like a fill-the-blank question. Okay, it's pretty much like a fill-the-blank question. And now for this diagram, they give us a big clue. They give us a big clue that that's going to help us be able to find the right paragraph or paragraphs to have this information. So I'll give you like 3 seconds to see if you can look at it and be able to know what that clue is. That's going to tell us where how to quickly find the right paragraph. Okay, you ready? It's right here. 1670. How the 1670 lever-based device worked. 1670, right? We should be able to look and find that date very, very fast. And once we find that date, we will find all the answers that go on the blank line. Okay? All right, number 9 is dealing with escapement, and the key word here is resembling. All right, the word resemble means looks like. All right? Very important that you learn vocabulary, okay? The more vocabulary that you learn, the easier this test is going to be. So you got to learn vocabulary. All right. If you don't, I mean, you can learn the vocabulary that you need for the TOEFL exam and the IELTS exam is the same. It doesn't matter if you're studying IELTS for IELTS vocabulary or for TOEFL for vocabulary. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about in terms of, like, if you see a list that says TOEFL vocabulary, that's good for the IELTS. If you see a list that says IELTS vocabulary, that's good for the TOEFL. All right. So don't worry about that. Number 10 has to be a word. Let's look at our directions. How many words can we write? No more than 2 words. Right? Directions say no more than 2 words. We can write 2 words or 1 word. Can't write 3. Number 10 is going to be something that describes what this is. You have to look at what that looks like. Number 11 is going to be a word that describes what these things are right here. These little pointy things. All right, and number 12 and 13 are connected to this language, which beats each. That's very helpful because 12 and 13 are connected. A blank which beats each blank. Okay? All right, so first let's find the paragraph that we need to look for. And we're looking for 1670. And I could do really like a loose scan. I don't have to scan really hard because I'm looking for numbers. I still don't see 1670, but I'm scanning. Looking at numbers, everybody. All I'm looking at are numbers. 1283, 13, 14. Here we go. 16th century, 1670. All right, there we go. All right. So first, I'm looking for the first one, and I'm looking for something with just like the word resemble. It was called the anchor escapement, which was a lever-based device shaped like a ship's anchor. Oh, there we go. Shaped like Shaped like is the same thing as resemble. Shaped like is the same as resemble. I'm right here in this in the second sentence of paragraph G. Second sentence of paragraph G. Shaped like a ship's anchor. So the answer I will write is ship's anchor. Ship's anchor, right there. Ship's anchor. Number 10 and 11, we can look at those together. 10, well, it looks like a circle. It looks like the wheel of a car. The motion of the pendulum rocks the device so that it catches it and releases each tooth of the escape wheel. Yeah, that's going to be that's exactly what that looks like. Right? It looks like a wheel. The escape wheel. Right? And that other thing looks like a tooth. Right? It looks like a tooth. Yeah, tooth and wheel. Right? Tooth and wheel, they're together also. Tooth of the escape wheel. Right? But if we look here, remember I told you, for a diagonal question, it's possible for the answers to come reversed. Right? It's the answer for here, the answers are coming at us reversed. And what I mean by that is this. For number 11, it's coming before number 10. The answer to number 11 is tooth. The answer to number 10 is escape wheel, because that looks like a wheel. But we know 10 and 11 have to be together. But in our passage, number 11, the word tooth is coming before the answer for number 10, the word escape wheel. So that's why I say it, for a diagram question, that's what you have to be aware of. Sometimes if you have two possible answer choices, not two possible answer choices, you have two questions that are right next to each other like that, or they're combined together. It's possible for one of them to come before the other one. And in fact, they really like to do that sometimes on the IELTS exam, because a lot of students are not expecting it and are not prepared for it. Okay, but you have to be. All right, and we have one more. We have 12 and 13. We're looking for a sentence that talks about which beats each. A blank, which beats each. I'm going to focus on that language, which beats each. We're scanning through. They're going in order. So, I mean, they're going in order in terms of their grouping. 10 and 11 were reversed, but well, here we go right here. It's in the last sentence. Which could beat. Which could beat. Moreover, this invention allowed for the use of a long pendulum, which could beat once a second. Once a second, once a is synonym for each. Once a is synonym for each. So the answer for number 13 is second. And what language comes right before could beat? Which could beat is long pendulum, right? Long pendulum, right? Moreover, this invention allowed the use of a long pendulum, which could beat once a second, right? So the language right before which could beat is long pendulum. So that's the answer for number 12. And also we have the synonym language for each. Once a is a synonym for each. And so the answer for 13 is second. See right here? A long pendulum which beats each. Second. Okay? And we have synonym language for each. Once a is synonym for each. So it says once a second, each second. All right? A long pendulum. That comes right before which beats. All right? So those are our answers for 12 and 13. Okay? So when we have diagram questions, just be aware we treat them like fill-the-blank questions, but we have to be aware when we have two questions that are combined together like 10 and 11, it's possible for them to be reversed in terms of their order in the passage. So we have to be aware of that, okay? So thanks for joining us, and now we're going to move on to some more practice. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon.